Hi everyone, it's Lisa Zero from Book More Celebrations. I'm very excited that tonight I will be joined by Heidi Thompson from Evolve Your Wedding Business. She is going to be hosting the Book More Wedding Summit very soon. I'm just going to see if I can connect with her real quick and then we'll get started. Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good. I always feel like my hair is just not right. Like I love the colors in your hair.
Oh,
Love them
thank you.
all the time. I do. And this is the first time I'm doing an Instagram live in a really long time, and it was a lot easier than it used to be, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting a lot easier.
Yes. So we're here tonight to talk about the Bookmore Wedding Summit that is coming up in about a week and a half, starting on August 19th. I'm so excited. I love
I'm
learning
pumped.
from other pros as an event professional myself, the officiant, photo booth experience provider. I don't just rely on myself to do research. I love learning from everybody else, from wonderful people like yourself, Lindsay J. Williams, and earlier today I was on Mrs. Bondu's Instagram checking out what she had to say. And I follow so many different people in the industry. Um, Tell me a little bit about the summit for people who have not yet had an experience with it.
Sure
And how'd you get started
things.
with it?
I started Bookmore Wedding Summit for the first time. Weirdly enough, it was like right when COVID kicked off. It was like March, April of 2020. Crazy, crazy time. But I had wanted to do something like this for quite a while. I really like bringing together a lot of different voices, a lot of different perspectives to teach on a central topic, which for Bookmore Wedding Summit, it's really entirely focused on helping you attract more of the clients you want to work with and book them, and do it even in kind of a weird market where maybe it feels like it's a little bit slow. So I wanted to make sure I invited speakers who could all bring different areas of expertise into that and speak to something specific that people could do in order to book more weddings at the moment, as well as going into engagement season.
Yes, yes. So coming from that COVID, the pandemic, that's around the time that you had started everything. How has it developed over the last few years? What's different now than it was the first year or two?
That's a good question. It has definitely grown in size and reach. We have people from more places than ever involved, which is really cool. It's interesting to find out, what works for photographers in Hong Kong or Australia. There's so much we can learn from each other, and we have a community where you can do that and connect with the other attendees as well as the speakers. Something I started doing kind of recently, I think it was my last summit I did, was a speaker panel each day. And that way, giving more of a space for people who maybe they don't have like a fully formed question they want to post in the group and ask, but they would love to get some input on something. They'd love to learn more from the speakers. It allows us to have more of a conversation there. And then just some other of the live sessions that we've added in. And something that's always been popular is a networking session. So I love being able to do like the non-local networking of, connecting with people from elsewhere, but you're on the same trajectory. Maybe you're in the same type of business. You're dealing with the same issues. And there's still so much you can do to help support one another.
Absolutely. I am so excited about those daily panels. This is the first time I'm speaking, and this year I'm speaking about how to create profitable packages. But being it's my first time, I recorded it weeks ago now, but I'll have a chance to interact with people on the day that it's released, which is really nice because everything's fresh, and then they can ask lots of questions if they have any, or if maybe there's something that they want to know more about or clarification on. Can't cover everything about packages in half hour to 45 minutes.
Right.
I wanted to. I did. It was hard. But
Yeah, and that's
it gives you a
the thing,
taste of
like,
what to do.
yeah, we can cover, a lot, but, people can come and say like, well, this is what I'm running into. This is the issue I'm having. This is what's going on in my market or in my life. Like, how would you apply that in this situation? And we can give more tailored advice. So please, when you attend, ask questions, because people learn so much from that and get to take really specific actions from that.
I think one of the things I really like is you do offer the free, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so much value packed into the summit itself. I forget the exact number. It's over $7,500 worth of stuff. If you do one of the two bonus packs, there was the all access, and then there's the wedding pro pack, right?
Yep. Yep. So
So
the Wedding
packed
Pro
full
Power
of
Pack
stuff.
is,
Yeah.
oh my God. We have, so the All Access Pass, if you choose to pick up one of our upgrades, these are how they work. The All Access Pass is lifetime access to all the presentations and transcripts. The Power Pack is lifetime access to all the presentations and transcripts. You also get it in podcast format, is a lifetime as
And
well,
I
so
just
you can
say
listen
right
easily.
there, I love podcasts.
Same.
I do. There's a lot of stuff that I go on Kajabi from one of my coaches, and she's very animated, but I can't sit at home all the time, especially with my 13-year-old twin boys at home all summer. I love them, I do. But it's really hard to focus. So I'm on my way to events or meetings, I'll put on one of her 12-minute or 40-minute sessions and just listen to it in the car,
Yeah,
which I love
it's so helpful.
podcasts.
It's such an easier way for, I think, many of us to take in information, to process information, and to have it more accessible. So on top of that, we have a bunch of different VIP events happening during and after the summit. And we also have speaker bonuses. So these are courses, templates, tools, things that our speakers have contributed that you would normally have to pay for. And there's over $2,900 of bonuses just in that segment of the Power
And
Pack.
that's phenomenal. I am finishing up my ebook, so it'll be all polished up for way before the week and a half is up, so I can finish that up for that Power Pack. I'm really excited for so many things that people are going to get. So it's really tempting for people to just say, oh, it's free, I'm just going to do the free. But then once things are launched at 9 a.m. Pacific time, let's say on day one, they only have 24 hours to watch all of day one. I don't know how many people, let's say a lot of people might be still working a full-time job or families and taking care of their families and their homes and everything else. To binge everything in 24 hours and absorb all that is a lot.
It is a lot. It definitely is a lot. And I would say if you want to grab one of the upgrades, the best price you're going to get is right after you grab your free ticket, but you still can grab it throughout the summit if you realize, you know what, I need to be able to come back to this later. And then we have some events happening on the last day of the summit that are really centered on helping you plan for and take those next steps so that you actually leave the summit knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to do with all of this information, so that it isn't something that you just kind of passively consume and then don't change anything.
When I was looking at that initial investment for somebody who pops on and they get after they click on the link, this past week I've been flooded because, with the summit, different search engines, platforms like Facebook and Instagram start showing me ads all about wedding business conferences, DJ Expo, Wedding MBA, etc. I looked into Wedding MBA. Like, yeah, I'd really like to go, but that's a few $1,000s. Is it interactive? Can you do a lot on site? But I'd love to go to Vegas. Yes. But for that, just a portion of that investment, you have access to all of this stuff for lifetime access.
Yeah, and you have the ability to revisit it too, which I think is really important, because it is really hard, as much as I love in-person events, it is really difficult to absorb all that. And then you go back to your notes and you're like, what was I talking about here? Like, I don't remember what I wanted to do from this. So with those upgrades, you can revisit just like you can during the summit. So you have ongoing access to all of them.
Tell me what you're most looking forward to. And also, I'd love to hear about what you're going to present on. I've seen it listed, but I want to hear more about what you're going to talk about and why you chose those topics for yourself.
Yeah, so the thing I always look forward to most, and really like my job the week of the summit, is engaging with everybody. And it's so much fun for me to get to know people, get to know their businesses, get to help them, get to make sure they're getting what they need from whether it's the resources or from the other speakers. And then also talking to the speakers. We always have really, really good conversations in our panels, and they're very reinvigorating, which is really nice. Like coming to the end of a big project like this and actually putting the summit on, it really does like light a spark to see, you know, all of just the brilliance of the speakers coming together and seeing people get results, people having aha moments, people deciding to make changes. That's the thing that always pumps me up. And then let me pull my laptop over here for the schedule, because I am doing 4 different topics, one for each of the 4 days. The first one, at least I think it's the first one. It's all kind of jumbled in my brain right now. The first one is all about standing out from your competition without discounting, which is something I have found over the past year to be a real struggle for a lot of people. I think, and we were talking about this during our speaker mixer, a lot of us got comfortable being in a position where we were very in demand, where we were being sought out, and maybe we didn't have to try as hard in our marketing. But now that isn't the position that we're in. And I'm seeing a lot of people struggle and lose business to competitors because they're not standing out, because they don't see why they should be working with you instead of someone else. And no, like cutting your prices isn't the solution to that. So there are other ways to go about it that are much more sustainable.
And that's one in particular that I'm very interested in. I shared during the speaker networking event that here in New York State, the rules for officiants have significantly changed, which until now, this was something that happened last year where anyone can just go to city, town, village clerk, $25, get a license to be an officiant for 1 day. So that has cut our business significantly. So we're now coming up with all new marketing that the stuff that we used to do is just not working as well as it did. We really have to stand out and say, this is why you should be working with a professional officiant and target our marketing better and be more consistent in it. Where before I was like, oh, I'll post now and then do another post in 3 months. And it didn't matter as much, but it matters a lot right now to stay relevant.
Yeah, because before they needed
Yep.
you, and now they need to want you, which
Yes,
that's a very different situation.
absolutely. I'm very excited about that one. I'll definitely be tuning into that. Absolutely. What else are you going to be talking about?
I'm talking about the number one secret to marketing that leads to more bookings. This is something I talk about all the time, and it's about getting into the heads of the people you want to attract, the people you want to work with, and turning your marketing into an absolute just magnet for them. And that is the thing I see missing from a lot of people's marketing is they're just like doing stuff, but there's no targeting, there's no strategy, there's no thought behind how do I make this like irresistible to the person that I really want to attract.
So I think one of the key elements to that, and I have a feeling some of this might be coming in your presentation too, is that it's not just getting them there. It's also what do you do after you get the lead? I have heard over the years as being the officiant photo booth and running my own networking group locally, we have about 2,000 members in our local group. is that people are like, well, I emailed them back, but they never got back to me. They might get, you said this earlier, I think on Mrs. Bondi's live, is that um, you you have to, something about keep following up. If you don't,
Yeah.
they're getting like 15 emails from, let's say they reached out to 3 different categories of people: photo booth, DJ, venue, all at the same time, or florist. And then all of a sudden they're getting 15 emails. How are you going to stand out if nobody follows up? They're just lost. If you follow up consistently, eventually you'll either get a yes, a maybe, or a no, and you'll know where to go from there.
Yeah, and so much of that is like knowing what to say, knowing what this person needs to hear in those follow-ups. And that's different for every type of
Right.
client, which is why it's so important to understand what they actually care about and not just what we think they care about, because we're pretty much always wrong about that, at least in some way, because we're too far removed to actually be in their heads. We're not in that position. We don't know exactly what it is that is driving their decisions.
And as we change things generationally, another thing we've touched on recently is, okay, what worked for me when I got married is I went into a wedding show. There weren't all these online platforms.
Yep.
Then all these online platforms came about, and everybody gets an award. It's like a participation trophy at this point with like the Knot and Wedding Wire. It's everybody you advertise, you get a few reviews, you get the badge for your website. Like, how are you going to stand out? You can get really lost in all the marketing that's out there too.
Yeah.
So to save some money, tune in to get some of these tips during the summit. So you can save yourself potentially thousands of dollars, sometimes per month. I remember
Yeah.
early
Funny
on I
you
was
say
spending a
that.
lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Funny you say that, because one of my other topics is take control of your marketing and ditch the Knot and Wedding Wire for good. Now, I don't personally care if you use the Knot and Wedding Wire. I have no opinion about that. What I care about is, are the things you're doing working for you? And we need to do the things that are working for us. Too often, wedding professionals, they don't just delegate their marketing by advertising. They completely abdicate it. And they think, okay, well, I'm paying this company money, so they'll just get me clients. No, that is not how it
No.
works.
No, it's so important if they do advertise on the Not or Wedding Wire. And I used to. I pulled back from that advertising a while ago because it wasn't working for me. At the end of the year, I was making a little bit more than what I was investing. So to leave my house, leave my family, give up days, no thanks. But
Yeah. And you have to know that for
yeah,
yourself.
but it might work for other people. If you're going to use those platforms or other ones, you have to update your profile. If you haven't updated in a few years, is it relevant? Are the pictures kind of out of date and looking a little out of date?
Yeah.
You know, is everything changed about, things change about your business that you really need to update in your profiles too? Is it SEO friendly? Like, how are you going to stand out? Because not everything's going to pop up. Not everybody's going to go on those sites and just click, click, click to get to
Right.
you. They're going on search engines and they're getting to a particular page within it also. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to see that, to save thousands of dollars. And now that we're changing our marketing, I will be tuning into yours so much.
Yeah, and I'm all about like putting wedding pros in the driver's seat, because a lot of them have never taken that position. They've taken a very passive position where, okay, I'm going to pay to be listed here, and then I'll just take what I can get from there. But when you actually put yourself in control of your own marketing and you're the one in the driver's seat, it gives you so many more options, and you can generate as much, as little, whatever kind of business that you want. You don't just have to kind of like sit around and hope that someone's going to show up in your inbox.
Yes, yes. What's that fourth
And
topic you're covering?
the final thing I'm speaking about is how doing less in your marketing will help you book more weddings. And the weird thing that I've found to be true time and time again is people think they need to do more. And that's almost never the case. They're usually doing too many things. They're kind of half-assing all of them. There's no strategy. They're just like doing, doing, doing. And if we can cut back some of those things that either aren't a good fit, aren't working, just aren't a priority, aren't going to be the best fit for you, and focus on doing more of the things that work for you, you can do way less in your marketing and get substantially better results than when you were doing 80% more work. So this is one of the rare instances where you actually get to do less and get better results.
And that is wonderful. I know right now I'm getting hit left and right with advertising opportunities. And one of them is a brand new website in a neighboring state that is geared towards couples. And right out of the gate, they're charging $400 a month. And that's not even for the top tier. That's $4,800 a year with not a lot of visitors to their site yet. Where some people might jump on like, oh, I want that. That doesn't sound that bad. But what are you getting for that?
Right.
You know, that's a huge investment. If I go on, you know, I'll start with the free, thank you very much. I'll SEO the heck out of it and try and leverage it. But to actually make that investment right now, it just doesn't seem like it would be a smart investment to spend so much money, especially without watching 30 other speakers and all their tips and trying to apply as many things within the summit that I can before throwing more money out there. Like I need to sit back, absorb everything, and then make a really strong plan. I have a marketing and communications background. That's what my master's is in. I did a lot of music marketing many years ago for rock bands.
Oh, cool.
Way back. Oh yeah, I love that. That's
so
like
cool.
my alter ego. Oh, I loved it. I did. But marketing my business, I still, even with the masters and working in corporate and working in the wedding industry, sometimes I still get stuck. And
Oh,
sometimes
yeah,
need
I
help
do
from
too.
other people to say, oh, wait, here's another idea, and
Yeah.
pick up something and have an aha moment.
It's very hard when you're in your business and we're as close to our businesses as we are to be able to see things from the outside like you can when you're working, you know, at a corporation. You can see things with perspective because you're not so close to it. And the thing I have found that allows me to have that perspective is learning from other people and getting to see their perspective, getting to see what they're doing and look at how I can apply that to my own business because I get it. It's tough. I get stuck too.
Yes. And like I said before, with all the choices that are out there, how are you going to stand out? For us as officiants, there might be other officiants out there like Bethel Nathan. You know, I'd love to hop on with her sometime and pick her brain about how she does her advertising because
Yeah.
she might book people way, way, way in advance, you know, different market where she is. However, for us here doing wedding shows, I'm going to, you know, definitely tune into some of the wedding show stuff. But if I do a show 2 years in advance, the follow up for an officiant when we're typically not booked a year or two out, we're booked in a lot closer. We're not always at the beginning of a chain. Trying to change that, stress the importance and all that of the fabulous officiants, right? Or photo booths. Photo booths is like not always top of people's minds. It's like an extra kind of thing. Is remaining top of mind throughout the process. And it could be 2 years long and then they
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. That is a really good point. And that just goes to show how important it is to have a plan, have a way of continually marketing. You know, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. And at the summit, the way we're talking about things is very much in line with that. It's not like if you don't do this, like your business will fall apart or you have to choose this or that. It's not, you know, anything that extreme. It's more like a buffet, like a sampler platter where you can take what's going to work for you, put it to work and leave what doesn't or come back to what doesn't because it is difficult to take all of that in at once. I totally get that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What are some things during the summit that people should be aware of after they sign up, whether they do the free, the all access, the pro package? what should they be aware of? Do they need to download a calendar? Will they get daily reminders of what's going on? How on top of it do they have to be? Have you made it super easy for them? I kind of know the answer, but
Yeah, so when you grab your free ticket, if you stick with just the free ticket, you're going to get an email letting you know like a couple of next steps. Come join the group, add things to your calendar. It's just one click and it adds everything into your calendar so you don't miss out on any of the live events. And for the Wedding Pro Power Pack, they have their own calendar. So if you decide to purchase that, you'll have that calendar that also has the VIP events on that. So you have everything. I am like that. Like if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. So we need to have it be easy, simple, straightforward. I get that. And then each day of the summit, you will get an email before the presentations go live, letting you know everything that's happening that day. And then you'll get an email later that day letting you know, hey, you still have access to this. Here are some takeaways from the day. Here are some things if you miss them, how to access them. So you will have that communication in your inbox throughout the summit. And then we also have the group. So you can use that to whatever extent you'd like to. If you want to connect with other wedding professionals, by all means, come and do that. If you want to ask the speakers questions, if you want to attend the panels that we're doing in there, do that. Do whatever works for you. This is built to be flexible so that you can, use the parts that you need.
So for the speakers on the days, like on day one, will some of the speakers be live in the Facebook group? Okay.
Yep. So we're doing daily speaker panels. So we'll have the speakers for that day, the ones that are able to join us, they have the availability, will join us for a panel. Those are at 12 p.m. Pacific each day. And we'll be having conversations about the questions that you have asked, about the topics that the speakers have presented on, so we can go deeper on all of those.
Is there anything else you would like to share with people today about the conference, about the summit itself?
Get your free ticket. Whether you decide to upgrade or not, it's totally up to you, but definitely get the free ticket. We do a kickoff call actually the day before the summit starts. So we do it on the Sunday in the group. So that really gives you the rundown of like, here's everything that's coming this week. Here's where you need to go for everything. We have a schedule page with everything laid out for you with all of the links to make it as easy as possible to find things in, one centralized place. And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give people is to actively participate. The people that get the most out of these aren't the people that, just sit and kind of passively listen and let it wash over them. It's the people that, go through the presentations that they think are going to apply most to them. They choose, okay, here's what I'm going to do as a result of this. They come in, they ask questions, they get specific, they get clarity. They meet other wedding professionals so they can have some kind of mutual friendly accountability. So I just welcome you to participate fully. Everyone in there is really amazing and super friendly.
I'm so excited. And I've made some really great connections already with some of the other speakers.
Oh, good.
I'm really excited. I'm glad we connected. I think it was like a little over a year ago or so when I started my program. For people who haven't signed up yet, if you go to the top of my Instagram profile and click on the links in there, there's a link for getting your free pass, which will also take you to if you want information about the upgrades. And we're starting Sunday, the 18th with the kickoff call, then full speed ahead on the 19th for 5 days. I'm so excited. Thank you for bringing everybody together to do this. It is incredible what you've put together.
Thank
you sleep?
Oh, I sleep a lot.
That's good.
If I could Olympic sleep, I would do it. But yeah, I mean, we've got it down to a pretty solid process. So we can keep things moving, and we've been working on it for a few months now. So
Wonderful.
I'm really excited to kind of get to the finish line, get to hang out with everybody during the actual summit, and answer a bunch of questions and help people move forward.
Thank you for being here tonight or this afternoon, your time. I'm kind of jealous out in California, right?
It is pretty great. I'm not going to
Yes.
lie.
So have a great night. I'm going to kind of see if I can figure out how to download this. I'm going to try.
It should give
Save
you
it.
an option once we finish
Okay.
up.
Okay. Like I said, it's been a while since I did an Instagram live, so I will download it and then share it. And if you would like, I'll send it to you so you have a copy as well.
Perfect.
Thank you. You're awesome, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the
Of
time.
course.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so if anybody has questions, please let me know. I will go ahead and reshare this. I'll have a link for you. I'll share it in the stories. And if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you go to the links at the top of my Instagram profile or send me a DM, and I'm happy to share the link with you so that you can sign up for the Book More Wedding Summit. Have a great one, everybody. Let's see.